learners, welcome to today's online class. In today's online class, we are going to be discussing emergency management. Emergency management. In this lesson today, we'll look at the meaning and types of emergency. We'll also define emergency management and talk about the components of emergency management. Then we list situations that could lead to emergency management. You are going to identify those situations that could lead to emergency management. And lastly, we will enumerate emergency management agencies in Nigeria. We're also going to talk about their roles or functions. All right. So these are our learning objectives for today. Welcome to this class. Sit tight as you learn. First, we are starting with the meaning and types of emergency. Before we start looking at emergency management, what is emergency? Emergency is a sudden, unexpected, and potentially dangerous situation, that requires immediate action to prevent harm, mitigate or reduce risk, and save lives and properties. All right. Then we have types of emergency. We have life emergency. These are situations that cause immediate danger to the life of people or of somebody. Then we have health emergency. This one has to do with your health. Situations that pose threats to public health. Then we have the environmental emergency. All right. This one has to do with both health, life, and then the entire environment. All right. So these are the types of emergency we have. Now let's move to emergency management. Emergency management. When we talk about emergency management, it refers to the coordinated efforts and actions taken to prevent, prepare for, and respond to disasters. All right. Emergency management goal is to ensure a comprehensive and integrated approach to emergency preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation. Now we have components of emergency management. The first component we have is the preparedness. This entails the activities undertaken in advance to ensure effective response to emergencies. So this is the stage we call the planning stage or planning aspect of emergency management. Then we have the response that involves the movement of personnel and equipment to the place of incident to protect lives and property. All right, so this is the second stage. Then we move to the third, which is recovering. After an emergency has occurred, recovering effort focus on assisting affected individuals and communities in recovering from the impact. Then we have the last phase or the last aspect, which is the mitigation. The mitigation involves taking steps to reduce or eradicate the risk of future emergencies. After one occurrence of emergency situation, there is need to also reduce a repetition of it, or eliminate it. So this is the aspect where we call the mitigation aspect. All right. So these are the components of emergency management. Quickly, we are going to look at situations that could lead to emergency management. There are situations that could lead to emergency management. We know that. First, we have the road accident. Accident is a sudden event that is not planned. It occurs and causes damage or injury. Two, we have fire accident. We have the fire accident. The fire accident can result to injury or devastating damage. It always requires immediate intervention of firefighters. Number 3 here we have drowning. This may occur in the river, ocean, sea, or even your swimming pool. This also requires immediate intervention. Then number 4, we have food poisoning. Okay, food poisoning is the result of eating contaminated or spoiled food. And the most common symptoms of food poisoning are vomiting and diarrhea. Okay, then we have number 5, we have building collapse. All right, building collapse is a sudden fall of a building. It might occur as a result of the building being weak. Maybe it has stayed for a very long time and it's weak. Okay, then we have number 6, which is fake drugs. Fake drugs. All right, fake drugs are substandard drugs that deceptively represent its original. Then we have flood. Flood. Flood is an overflow of water that submerge land that is usually dry. Okay. And also we have bomb explosion. Bomb explosion is a sudden release of a large amount of energy in the form of an explosion. It can cause extensive damage to structures, infrastructures, and the environment at large. Now, let's take a look at what is going to happen here now. 2, 1, go! Boom! That is it for bomb explosion. Okay, so these are situations that could lead to emergency management. Now we are going to move to emergency management agencies in Nigeria. Emergency management agencies in Nigeria. When we talk about emergency management agencies, we are referring to those bodies that take care of emergency situations. All right. Number 1 we have here is the NEMAN, National Emergency Management Agency. Okay, NEMAN is a federal government agency that is established to coordinate the management of disaster and emergencies in Nigeria. Okay, NEMAN is under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and its primary mandate is to coordinate the management of disasters and emergencies in Nigeria. They perform the following functions, such as 1 is to develop and implement strategies for disaster preparedness. It includes risk assessment, development of emergency plan, and then also the procedure of training personnel. Number 2 is that they mobilize resources and provide assistance to affected communities. Number 3, they coordinate efforts to locate and save people who might be trapped or are in danger. And lastly is that they support the rehabilitation and reconstruction of affected areas after disasters. All right, so these are some of the functions of the National Emergency Management Agency. Secondly, we have the State Emergency Management Agency that is established to coordinate and manage emergencies and disasters within their respective states. In Nigeria, each state has its own State Emergency Management Agency. Okay, they perform the same function as that of the NEMAN, that is the National Emergency Management Agency, but the difference is that they operate at the state level, but they carry out the same function, and then they work in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency. And number 3, we have the Federal Road Safety Service Corps. All right, it is a federal government agency that is responsible for road safety administration and traffic management. It was established in 1988 and it operates under the Federal Ministry of Transportation. Its functions include: they are responsible for managing and controlling road traffic. They work to prevent road accidents. Okay, and number 3 is that they issue driver's license and also produce plate numbers. Okay, and lastly is that they provide rescue services to accident victims. They assist them, all right, and clear road, okay, any obstruction that is caused by accidents. So these are some of the functions of the FROSC. And number 4, we have the Firefighter Service, FFS. The Firefighter Service is a federal government agency that is established to provide fire prevention or suppression, rescue operation, and other related Services. It is under the Ministry of Interior. Its functions include: they respond to fire incidents and work to suppress and extinguish fires. Okay. Number 2 is that they conduct investigations to determine the cause of fire or the cause of a fire. And then they conduct awareness campaign. They educate people on fire prevention measures. And lastly is that they are equipped to carry out rescue operations outside their firefighting. They have an additional, assignment. So they are equipped to carry out rescue operation in time of emergency. Okay, so these are some of the functions of the FFS, the Firefighter Service. And lastly, for this video, we have the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, the LASTMA. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority. Okay, it was set up in July 2000 to fill the gap created by inadequate traffic management at that time. It is an agency that is established in Lagos to ensure the free flow of traffic in the state and to reduce accidents. All right. Its functions include to control, manage, and regulate traffic-related matters within Lagos State. And then number 2 is to educate and enlighten drivers and motorists on the proper use of the highways. Number 3 is that they ensure hinge-free traffic flow on Lagos Road. Okay, and lastly is that they ensure traffic safety and accident management. All right, so these are the functions of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency. And with this, we have come to the end of this class. I hope you learned a lot today. We'll call it a day here. I'll see you in class. For now, goodbye.